Good morning, everybody. I want to say hello from beautiful Treasure Island, Florida. We had a nice storm last night, and it's probably some of the biggest waves I've seen since I've been in Florida out of the Gulf of Mexico, probably in the last year. Wish I had my surfboard. Anyway, just wanted to say hello and talk to you guys about a few things. It's the first video, so it's going to be pretty raw. My camera, the microphone for it, I don't have the cable for it yet. So this is actually being filmed from my cell phone. So I'm going to do my best with it. You know, I got this tattoo about 10 years ago, and it says Believe. And at the time, I was going through a lot of problems with my ex-wife, which I blamed her for everything. I thought I was the breadwinner of the family because I worked so hard and so many hours. I should be able to have some relief or have some things that I thought that I deserved in my life. So many nights after work, I would sit at the bar and I would drink and drink and drink. You know, that was the story of my life for many years. I first discovered alcohol when I was 12 years old. And, you know, one thing I remember about the alcohol was I didn't have to remember. See, at 12 years old, I was molested by a farmhand that worked at a stable where my father was dating a woman where they lived at. And when I got a hold of that bottle and I went out behind a hay bale and I drank it, it was pretty nasty actually, what I can remember of it. But I remember the next morning I didn't have to remember what was going on or what was happening in my life. You know, I felt very, very ashamed, scared. I went to Larry about this, and he looked at me and told me I was point blank lying about it. I had no idea where to go, what to do, where to turn. When I went to him about the second time, he basically told me that he would kill my mom, my stepdad, who I later on in life knew was dad, and my brother. And so for 28 years I kept that a secret. And there were many other things that I kept secret too. We'll get into that at a later time. You know, but he would get up and go to work, and my grandparents didn't live far away, and my cousin Dave, and my Aunt Jackie, and Lee, and Tracy, and Jeffrey, and, you know, the only thing I wanted to do was go over and play with Dave. Dave was about 4 years younger than I am, and you'll hear about old crazy Dave a little bit later on. But, you know, every time I got to my grandparents' house, my grandmother, she would look at me. She knows something was going on. And Chad, come here. Sit down on this couch right here. Yep. She's about as redneck as I am. She pulled out the big old white family Bible and she turned to Psalm 23. And she would read it to me. And for whatever reason, it calmed me down. You know, once I started getting molested, there was no God. If there was a God, how could God allow something like that to happen? I blame God for everything. To the point I really was like, you know, what's even the use? From the time I was 13, I started thinking about suicide. That my life would be much better off if I were dead. And there have been many times throughout my journey in life that suicide seemed like to be the answer. But I was too scared to pull the trigger. So the next best thing I found were the drugs and the alcohol. You know, through my high school years, you know, I lost friends in car accidents, some crazy accidents actually. You know, they always said that our high school was built on a burial ground. Our school's mascot was the Warriors. And, you know, got to a point and really kind of started believing that it was true. I had a son when I was very young. Unfortunately, we don't speak right now. You know, when he was very young, I walked out of his life. I walked out of his life with a simple reason, is drugs and alcohol were more than important. You know, I love my son. His name's Zach. He's 23 years old. I actually got a grandson, Cameron, who I've never met. I got two beautiful daughters, Riley and Blake. Riley is thriving so well in cheerleading. And Blake decided she was going to move to California last week. And I support her 100%, and I wish her nothing but the best, and I'll do whatever I can to help her in any way emotionally I possibly can by doing what she decided to do. I always thought the world was against me. I thought that I could do no right. Then I felt sorry for myself. Nobody loves Chad. Nobody wants to be around Chad. You know, I felt different from when I was a kid. That, you know, my brothers, they love sports. And I enjoyed baseball and I enjoyed soccer. I enjoyed soccer a lot. I was actually probably one sport I was halfway good at. And it got to a point with baseball, you know, I could tell you everything about the major leagues. And then when my father stopped watching stopped watching baseball because of the strike, I was going to be like him because I always wanted to be like him. I didn't know how to be any other way. I didn't know how to be Chad.